Hold up, Team USA just quietly updated Caitlin Clark's profile, and the internet is losing its mind. But here's what nobody's talking about. The numbers behind this comeback tell a completely different story than what you're being sold. Let's be honest, the moment Caitlin Clark's name drops anywhere, content explodes. Algorithms light up, views skyrocket, but I'm not here to feed you fantasy. I'm here to show you the cold, hard reality of where women's basketball actually stands right now. And trust me, it's not pretty. Team USA dropped new footage over the weekend. Caitlin's back on the floor, everyone's celebrating, but when I dug into the actual performance metrics, when I tracked how the algorithm responded, when I looked at viewer retention across 3 days, something became crystal clear. Day 1, numbers bounced around. Day 2, same story. Day 3, massive drop-off. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Nobody wants to admit. Yes, there's a huge audience invested in Caitlin Clark, but there's an even bigger group that simply does not care about women's basketball long term. They showed up for the spectacle. They're not staying for the sport. And if you think I'm being harsh, just wait until you see what's actually happening behind the scenes. Because while everyone's celebrating this Team USA camp like it's some kind of victory lap, the entire league is teetering on the edge of disaster. The CBA negotiations still stuck. Another proposal just got rejected, and that January 6th deadline is approaching fast. 6 weeks. That's all we've got before this entire momentum wave could crash into a lockout. Let me paint you the nightmare scenario. No season in 2026. Viewership already trending down, and the safety net everyone keeps pointing to. Unrivaled? Let's talk about those numbers for a second, because last year Unrivaled didn't deliver anywhere close to what it needed to carry the sport through a shutdown. Not even close, but nobody wants to have that conversation. So when Team USA updates Caitlin's headshot and refreshes her bio, yeah, it's news, but it's also a distraction from the real crisis brewing underneath. Look at that new photo. She's clearly dropped weight. Shoulders look
This is Caitlin's logo. This is the version that comes up from half court and drains it without hesitation. The clip shows her consistently hitting logo threes throughout the weekend. Here's what they've added to her professional notes. Rookie season with a fever. Set the league single-season assist record with 337 assists. 19 assists is a single-game record. I broke the rookie scoring record with 769 points. First rookie to record a triple-double, named 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. Only one rookie made the All-WNBA first team. First rookie since 2009 to make the first team. This is the 5th time in league history that has been accomplished. Every time you look at those numbers, it hits you again. The numbers do not lie. They serve as a constant reminder of her exceptional qualities. But this is where things become interesting, because while Caitlin dominates on paper, the infrastructure around her is deteriorating in real time. Now, let's discuss what happened at the Team USA camp. The 3-day trip to North Carolina provided an opportunity to observe head coach Cheryl Reeves' priorities for the program, despite the snow and winter weather. Seeing these athletes in genuine game scenarios was the true 3 story. Think about it. Caitlin has not played competitive basketball since July 15th, a 4-month hiatus. Other players at camp finished their seasons on September 11th. It's been months since any of them faced genuine opposition. When they return to the field, there is visible rust. You can see the physicality intensifying. You see the true characters emerge. One moment perfectly encapsulates it. Caitlin is defending Kelsey Plum. Kelsey is bodying her, knocking her off the ball. Caitlin is called for a fall and instantly begins ranting at the referees. She is grabbing me. And all the WNBA coaches are sitting courtside, witnessing this. They are cracking up. Caitlin is true to form, always competing and chirping. Then you have Kelsey on the other end. She had been struggling a little. Finally finishes through traffic and screams directly at Becky Hammond and Nikki Fargas. They are laughing. Kelsey always gets things going. These are the storylines that have carried over from the WNBA season to these camps. Rivalries, passion, and edge. Subbird even mentioned how impressed she was with Caitlin's ability to stay involved throughout her time off and get back in game form. Let's take a look at Caitlin's appearance on the court for a realistic perspective. The step-back 3 remains as lethal as ever. The passing remains elite. But here's the deal. When she was not playing with Aaliyah Boston, some of the other bigs weren't sure what to do with her passes. She sent a pass to Dearica Hami, who brought the ball down. Caitlyn's passes do not allow for such actions. You must keep it up high, catch, and finish. However, Hami was not expecting that, which is what makes the difference. The FIA Basketball League is more physical than the WNBA, which is noteworthy given recent discussions concerning roughness during the 2024 season. Caitlyn's performance against Scout Squad players who were trained to play at FIA level was impressive, especially given her recent injury and ongoing rehabilitation. But she looked great. More than that, she appeared joyful. You could see it individually telling media members how good it was to speak with them again. It felt great to be a part of the basketball process, despite all of the media duties. After months away from actual 5-on-5 competition, this camp was designed to help players reconnect with the game. Her skill, vision, and confidence remained intact, but her excitement at returning was most evident. The focus of this camp was not on achieving goals, making decisions, or evaluating individuals. It was about building momentum and establishing the tone for what came next. 40 Sengold, this is when things get hot. Annie Costabile interviewed the indie sensation yesterday. And I'm not going to lie, I expected this thing to blow up. I actually did. The interview with Caitlin Clark at Team USA camp had fewer than 5,000 views. That's crazy. Genuinely surprising. Look, there's no hate here. I want everyone to win.
Way, no buying views, no buying subscribers, just organic growth and real support. That's how you build something that lasts. But this interview with Annie Costabile and Chloe Peterson from the Indie Star is sitting at around 450 views right now. That's criminal. Chloe Peterson is one of the first WNBA reporters to really speak in detail about what she personally saw when granted access to Caitlyn. That alone makes it worth watching. The full interview is nearly 2 hours long. They cover everything, not just Caitlyn, but the environment around her, what she looked like up close, the vibe during that access period. First-hand perspective like that is rare. So let's break down what they said about Caitlyn, because this is where you get the real insider view. Annie talked about how this camp represents a shift in Team USA's development approach. Seeing this young group come in for their first senior national team camp was exciting, but there's still a lot of work to be done. Caitlyn's coming off injury. This was the first time anyone had seen her operating at 100% since she got hurt, and even she admitted that while she feels like she's at 100%, there's still rust to shake off. A lot of rust. That's the reality. You can be physically healed and still not be game ready. Conditioning, timing, rhythm, all of that takes time. But here's what stood out. That shot
of hers, which we're all familiar with, is still there, deadly. Her speed was returning, and it was evident. Her timing on passes remained remarkable. Caitlyn is true to form. However, defense remains an area for improvement. Anyone who follows her game understands this. Observing her defend against Kelsey Plum was insightful, as Kelsey is a skilled opponent. She understands how to exploit defensive flaws. Caitlyn's attempt to protect her while still recovering from rust served as a wake-up call. Then you have Caitlyn and Paige Boyers competing against each other. That was not a one-on-one comparison. The objective was to assess their potential future collaboration. Someone asked Annie online who was sticking out and who appeared to be getting cut, and her response was flawless. This camp does not aim to accomplish that goal. This is not about making cuts after a single session. This is about developing, creating chemistry, and establishing a foundation. So, this is where we end up. This camp was more concerned with the big picture than the individual results. After months away from competition, having these players back on the court, competing, joking, and carrying over storylines from the WNBA season is what matters. Caitlyn's main takeaway was simply returning to live action. However, despite the celebrations, the league is in serious peril. The CBA negotiations are stalled. The lockout danger is genuine. Viewership momentum is fragile. And the data I'm seeing for 2026 predictions do not present a promising picture. This is why tracking Caitlyn's influence is crucial. That's why maintaining her visibility is critical. Because without her, this rise risks becoming a one-time event, a flash in the pan. And I would rather tell you the truth than sell you a fairy tale. The camp showcased USA Basketball's new identity, stressing physicality, energy, and engagement. Even in a little moment, you could see the tone being set. The show's unexpected subplot, such as Angel Reese's comments on Chicago, highlight that it was more than just drills. It was all about momentum. As discussions about the new CBA and the league's future continue, this camp was a significant first step towards establishing a clear direction for the players, the program, and the sport. But the issue remains, is it enough? Can this momentum continue through a potential lockout? Can women's basketball thrive without Caitlin Clark's dominance? This is what I know. The algorithm is telling me something significant.
Audience invested in Caitlin Clark, but that audience is not automatically transferring to the broader sport. And until that changes, until women's basketball builds something sustainable beyond one superstar, we're on shaky ground. So yeah, Team USA updated her headshot. They refreshed her bio. The internet went wild, but behind the hype, behind the celebration, behind the feel-good camp footage, there's a harsh reality brewing. And if we don't face it head on, if we keep pretending everything's perfect, this entire wave is going to crash harder than anyone's ready for.
Let me know your thoughts. Are we overestimating the current stability of women's basketball? Is Caitlin Clark capable of leading our sport during a lockout? Or are we going for a reckoning that no one is ready for? Let us chat about it. If you got this far, you already know. Subscribe and enable notifications because we'll be covering every aspect of the story as it unfolds. No fluff, no fucking hype, just the raw figures and hard truths. That's the only way we do things here. I will see you at the next one.